Hello and welcome. This is Thermaltake ToughAir 110, a 11 cm height CPU heatsink. This one is pretty old, being released back in early 2021. Still, it supports the majority of modern CPU sockets, bar AM5. While this heatsink is almost as tall as tower coolers, I don't exactly have good confidence in this because of my previous review with IS-77-XT. This style of heatsinks don't seem to do well under high TDP, but then the box does say that it is rated for 140 watts. Well, we will see soon enough. A first warning sign I see is the 4 heat pipes. I feel that is a little too few. IS-77-XT features 6 heat pipes. I have a feeling that this heatsink is going to perform worse than it. Regardless, the overall build quality seems good enough, and I see no obvious defects. Moving on, I purchased a scale to weight heatsinks accurately now. This was long overdue. Anyway, this heatsink weighs 350 grams. Since this is the first time I've weighted a heatsink, I don't have anything to compare to. This one is for the future, I suppose. This heatsink is old school, and it shows. Not only do I get to install its fan manually, it does not even use those flimsy clips. I suppose the saying quote unquote they don't make stuff like these anymore applies here. Additionally, the manual is absolutely required. You do need to read it, and I feel like I am working with a small model kit. I kind of miss this level of sophistication. Once I got a hang of it, installation was a breeze. Once installed, I see a gaping distance between the bottom bit and the heatsink fins, connected by 4 heat pipes. The 4 heat pipes are going to be not enough to adequately cool the CPU probably. We will see soon enough, and I will discuss about this later. The fan at idle is virtually silent. Its noise level is not exceeding the background noise. The box did say that the fan was quiet. I am going to leave the sound meter here for you to make your own judgment as the video progresses. The artificial load is created by Blender 3D application, which allows me to control how many CPU threads I can utilize, thus allowing me to control TDP. I am going to render a scene I created by using all threads, therefore pushing the TDP to max. The Intel 265K processor can push all the way up to 200 watts on this motherboard safely. And it looks like the 4 heat pipes are holding it back. The CPU cannot seem to push any further than around 160 watts TDP. In comparison, IS-77-XT was able to withstand 200 watts and it had 6 heat pipes. Now I am going to reduce the number of threads to use in order to simulate 125 watts TDP. Why, you ask? That is because 125 watts TDP is generally the maximum a lot of CPUs tend to reach. The majority of AMD CPUs hit around 100 to 125 watts, and the majority of Intel K CPU has 125 watts thermal rating as well, so that's the bar to test heatsinks in general. And it is not looking good here. I am seeing around 92 degrees Celsius when TDP is controlled at 125 watts, and it makes sense as well since the heatsink could only handle 160 watts maximum. If you are wondering why it is performing so badly, I think I have the answer. I believe it has to do with 2 factors. The first factor is obvious, the lack of heat pipes. It has 4. It should have had at least 6 or even 8. Since IS-77 used 6, I believe that anything more than that has diminishing returns. The second factor is something I talked about with IS-77 as well. It's the heat dissipation point. The longer heat pipes get, the further the heat has to be transferred and dissipated into the air. It's going to be less efficient the further heat has to go. And this heat sink is 110 millimeters in height. Compared to 65 millimeter height heat sinks, that's a rather significant distance for heat to be carried out and then get dissipated. Now, coupled with the inadequate number of heat pipes, I am assuming here that those two factors have made this so much worse than it should have. Do you remember me saying that this heatsink is old school? It is indeed old school. There is a reason why nobody makes this type of CPU heatsinks anymore. It looks like 65mm heatsinks are just as good while taking up less footprint. I will give my thumb up for being quiet, however. The fan spins at merely 500 revolutions per minute during idle, and 2000 revolutions per minute is its max speed. A 3000 revolutions per minute fan would have probably helped lowering that 92 degrees Celsius record. Anything more than 3000 is going to be a bit too loud for casual users. You do have a choice of swapping out the fan as well. You could even use a slim fan and reduce its overall height to 100 millimeters. But that's only going to make it perform worse and louder. In the end, I don't recommend this. This cost me 55 Canadian dollars, and there are far better and more compact heatsinks. For example, ID Cooling. IS-67-XT will cost roughly the same and perform so much better. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.